The fluorescent lights of the campus coffee shop buzzed overhead, a stark contrast to the warm glow of the fairy lights Lacey had strung up for her get-together. My stomach did a weird flip, a mix of nerves and anticipation. I hadn't seen Cassie since everything fell apart. We were kids then, inseparable. Our families were practically one. Backyard barbecues every weekend, summer camping trips, building forts in the woods behind our houses. Then Tommy, my baby brother, passed away. The grief was a tidal wave that crashed over our family, leaving behind shattered pieces. We moved, a desperate attempt by my parents to escape the constant reminders, to find some semblance of peace. I never got to say goodbye to Cassie. We'd been inseparable, Cassie and I. More than just friends, at least for me. I was hopelessly head over heels in love with her. Her laugh, the way her eyes crinkled at the corners when she smiled, her boundless energy, it all captivated me. But with Tommy gone, with the world tilting on its axis, confessing my feelings felt trivial, almost selfish. Lacey's message had been a bolt from the blue. Guess who's at stake? Attached was a picture of Cassie, looking older obviously, but still Cassie. The same bright smile, the same spark in her eyes. I spotted her across the room, talking animatedly with Lacey. My heart hammered against my ribs. She looked happy. That was good, right? Even after all this time, a pang of guilt resonated within me. I wondered if she ever thought about me, about what we had. Lacey waved me over, her grin wide. Cassie, look who's here. Cassie turned, and her eyes widened. Ren, hey, I managed, my voice a little rough. Oh my God, Ren, it's really you. She pulled me into a hug, a brief, warm embrace that sent a jolt of electricity through me. Been so long. Yeah, I said, my throat tightening. It has. We spent the rest of the evening catching up, a whirlwind of shared memories and awkward silences. It was like no time had passed at all, and like a lifetime had passed. We talked about our families, our classes, everything and nothing. I learned she was studying art history, something that always seemed to fit her free spirit. I was in engineering, a path I chose partly to make my parents proud, partly to find some structure in the chaos. Over the next few months, we ran into each other on campus, grabbed coffee, studied together in the library. It was easy, comfortable. The old connection was still there, flickering beneath the surface. Cassie was different, more confident, more mature. But the core of her, the girl I fell for all those years ago, was still present. She'd laugh at my stupid jokes, tease me about my messy hair, and sometimes I'd catch her looking at me, a soft, almost wistful expression on her face. Was it just wishful thinking, or was she hinting? I was terrified of misreading the signals, of ruining the fragile friendship we'd rebuilt. Then, one rainy afternoon, after a particularly grueling study session, she turned to me and said, Ren, I was wondering if you'd like to go out sometime. Like, a real date. My heart stopped. Cassie, I breathed. I'd love that.
Cassie's perspective. Seeing Ren again was like stepping back in time. A rush of memories flooded me. Building snow forts, sharing secrets whispered under starry skies. The way his hand brushed mine when we reached for the same comic book. Then the memories shifted, tinged with sadness. Tommy's death, the abrupt move, the silence that followed. It was like a piece of my childhood had been ripped away. I'd thought about Ren a lot over the years. More than just a friend, really. But I was shy, awkward, and terrified of rejection. And then, with everything that happened, confessing my feelings seemed inappropriate. When Lacey sent that picture, my heart did a little flip. He was here, at state. It was like fate or something. Seeing him at Lacey's party was intense. He was taller, more serious, but the same warm brown eyes, the same slightly crooked smile. The years melted away and I was 12 again, butterflies fluttering in my stomach. We talked for hours that night, catching up on everything. He told me about his family, how hard it had been after Tommy, how the move was supposed to help. I understood. I'd missed him too. Over the next few months, we fell into a comfortable rhythm. Studying together, grabbing lunch, just hanging out. Felt natural, like we were picking up where we left off. But there was also a tension, an unspoken something hanging in the air. I started dropping little hints, teasing him about his single status, lingering a little too long when we hugged. I wasn't sure if he was getting the message. He seemed hesitant. I understood his hesitation. We'd both been hurt in different ways. Finally, I decided to be brave. After all, what did I have to lose? We were walking back from the library, rain drizzling around us. I stopped, turned to him, and took a deep breath. Ren, I said, I was wondering if you'd like to go out sometime. Like a real date. His eyes widened and a slow smile spread across his face. Cassie, he said, his voice soft, I'd love that. And in that moment, under the gray, rainy sky, It felt like everything had come full circle. We were kids again, full of hope and possibility. And this time we weren't going to let anything or anyone tear us apart.